honor because I am, even though I serve as a judge right now, I am still a lawyer, and we can talk too much. So I was wondering what to speak to you today, and I got some advice, and they said, tell them what you do and tell them why it's important, and that seems pretty reasonable to me. Those of you who don't know me, I had forgotten sending my bio, so I was a little nervous about when Eduardo was introducing me. Okay, what's he going to say? But I did grow up in San Antonio on Lackland Air Force Base, which is where I learned my commitment to public service from my parents. My professional career, I think he went over very well. I appreciate that. But right now, I do serve on the County Criminal Court at Law Number 16. And for those of you that you got that little piece of paper with all the judicial candidates, did you get that? I mean, isn't that ridiculous? I mean, we're just such a huge county, and it's great that we have all these great Republican candidates running for judge. But how do you research every one of those? How do you learn about them? I mean, how long would it take you to hear from all of those people? I mean, Brian Staley, of course, because he's at everything. Stand up, and Jessica Padilla, because she's behind pushing the bus up for everything. Stand up if you're a current judge or a judicial candidate. Stand up for me. So these positions are so important, and I'll talk a little bit about just my specific court first. And Judge Padilla and I, Jessica, we serve on county criminal law benches. And the good part about that is that we're right across the hall from each other. So even though we're only 4 of 16 Republicans, we have each other, okay? And that does help. The bad part about that is there's a lot of things that have happened downtown that we want to vote on, and we're only 4 of 16. So it's really important that when we're making policy, because you want a good judge that's going to look at everything individually every day and make a good decision based on what you believe in and your values and what's going to help keep the community safe and give the due process to all the litigants, right? And that's what everybody wants for a good judge. But you only control 1/16 of what happens down there because there are 16 misdemeanor courts. Then you go to meetings and you vote on things. You vote on processes. You vote on how things have to be run. And we need a majority at those meetings. We absolutely need a majority at those meetings. We're hoping we get some help from the legislature. I want to introduce my husband, Tom Butler. Tom, can you stand up? I am not officially allowed to endorse a candidate, but I have been married to him for 28 years, so take from that what you will, and he is running for House District 128, and that's Deer Park, LaPorte, Baytown, Crosby. I'm going to leave a city out and lose you a bunch of votes, honey, but that's all right. The legislature can control some of it, but a lot of it is just what happens every day, boots on the ground in your court. And why is that important? Some people, we get so frustrated. We see people on TV saying, oh, we got to stop these felony people getting out on bonds. Well, we do, but you know what? People are on bond in misdemeanors too, and they're on bond for some dangerous offenses. And you want the right judge setting the right bonds, making the right bond conditions. And so I'm supposed to tell you that we have this thing in Harris County called the General Order Bond. Is everybody familiar with that? You know what that means? So that means if you leave this restaurant right now and you're assaulted, somebody commits an assault against you, that person will be taken downtown and processed out immediately, never seeing a magistrate. If the man that shot the deputy, remember the deputy that got shot right outside the courthouse? He was on a general order bond and he had mental health issues. And if he had gone to a human being, to a magistrate, and they could have looked at him and maybe, adjusted his bond or put some bond conditions on him to protect the community, then that could have been avoided. Some of these offenses and some of this activity could be avoided by just having a hard-working, right-thinking individual, human being making these decisions, right? And so that person would get out immediately with no conditions and until they went back to court for the first time. So that's something that happens that a lot of people don't know about. And then when they go back to court for the first time, Then it's up to the judge, the elected judge, to decide what kind of conditions they want to put on their bond, what kind of adjustments they want to make, and what ultimately happens with that case. So please don't think, and I don't want to sit up here and scare you and tell you horror stories about cases we see, but people get hurt behind misdemeanors, right? People do get hurt. We have people that are out that have drinking problems, that are driving. We have assault family members. We have indecent assaults where people are touched, without their consent. These can be very serious cases. Criminal trespass where people are harassing you. And so it's important, you need a good thinking and caring judge to work hard for you. So please don't leave today without meeting some of these other candidates. The other courts are very important too. Somebody dies in your family, you're going to go to a probate court. Something's going on in your family, you want to adopt a child, or leave a marriage or not leave a marriage. I mean, these family court judges are important. Civil judges, somebody is taking advantage of you civilly, or you're in a car accident. It's important to have people that will work hard and give you a fair hearing. And that's why, even though please don't be freaked out by the number of people on the ballot. If you have questions, we're here to talk to you about it. We have some very good candidates that I'm not allowed to officially vouch for. But please talk to Jessica before you leave. If you want to, Judge Padilla, I'm sorry. Please talk to Judge Padilla before you leave. If you have any questions about anything that you think you could, I didn't start my timer. Where am I? It's okay. If you have any questions that we can answer. Does anybody have any questions right now of me? Just real quick. I think I have a minute or two left, and I can use it for questions. Anybody have any questions? Yes, sir.
How does one get to be the magistrate down there at the courthouse?
The magistrates are hired by a panel of judges that are selected by the majority. So I'm not on that panel. So the magistrates are hired positions, right? So some people are released on a general order bond. They don't even see a magistrate. But some people do go to a magistrate, the 24-hour magistrates, and those people are hired, and they work for the judges, but the people, the leadership, shall we say, the majority of the judges are the people that are going to hire them. So they're going to want to hire people that reflect their values, right, and their judicial philosophy. And so that's why it's important for judges like Judge Padilla and me to be in leadership and in majority roles, and we are not right now. We are very outnumbered. Yes?
How are the video magistrate appearances working? Do you find that you don't get the same level of comfort from the defendant in a video interview as you would if they were in person, or vice versa, where you can see a lot more of the body language and things that might not stand out in the video?
It could be a problem. I don't know. We do all of our hearings in person. So by the time they get to my court, they're in person, and they walk them over from the jail if they're in custody or they're on bond. But I could see that it could be a problem with body language and things like that, but the volume is so high and the security is such an issue, and that's why they do the video hearings. But I'm sure it is a little bit complicated. For 8 years I represented CPS, and we actually did trials via Zoom. I think they're still doing trials via Zoom. It's kind of hard to get your cross-examination, working on a camera, and I think the parents did get away with a lot. But the good thing is sometimes they forget they're on camera and they do crazy stuff, and you see them like lighting a marijuana cigarette, or and they're like, I'd like the record to reflect. Yes, sir.
I wanted to thank you and Judge Padilla for your motion to vacate that you guys filed on the O'Donnell.
Right.
While you are the minority on the misdemeanor courts, they filed a motion to vacate in O'Donnell, which is what's wrecking your county. The O'Donnell consent decree is what allows for all these free bonds and all these things to go on for the last 6 to 7 years here. So kudos to you for your bravery. I read the opinion, I read the motion, and it makes a lot of sense. Unfortunately, common sense has gone out the window, but good for you.
Thank you. We appreciate that. I can't really talk a lot about a pending lawsuit, But just know that, you know, the fight is not over. We're doing everything that we can do legally, and the Attorney General's office also intervened in that. So again, elections have consequences, right? That the Attorney General gave permission to his office to intervene, saying that that the O'Donnell decree violates state law. So yeah, stay tuned. I can't give specifics about that, but what I can say is pray for us. We appreciate it, and we're not giving. We're fighters. You know, may only be 4 of us, but there's 4 people that care. All right, is that it? That's time? Thank you, guys.